Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Daily Cup of Genre, the Daily COG, where we talk about everything in entertainment news, geeky stuff, sports occasionally. And I'm trying to silence the jaw that lives in my pocket before it starts talking. I'm Kyle.
Let him go.
What's that?
Let him go.
No, I will not. I need that jaw, damn it. No, I'm Kyle Malone. I help hold this down with the other guy over there, Manny. What's up, bud?
Nothing much. Just recovering from the awesome kind of birthday dinner at the bar we had last night.
The birthday festivities.
Yeah,
that's great. Cool, man. Mm-hmm. What was it? What was your main meal last night? Steak, burger, something?
Chicken wings, okay. Sliders.
I can respect
all the bar food, man.
Okay.
Nachos.
when you do wings, are you a spicy guy or a like lemon pepper guy?
Kind of like tea and beer, depends on the mood.
Okay,
but I'll tell you, usually now what I do in some places, including the Tap House, which shout out to them because they're always so good to us. We get the sauce on the side, just so we can get when we get the wings, they're nice and crispy.
Yeah.
Then you could dip them in the sauce. You could dip them in ranch if you're gonna dip them in ranch, and then hey. You get nice crispy bites instead of kind of that little sogginess you get.
Well, if someone serves me soggy wings, they screwed up because I can serve myself unsoggy wings. But
no, soggy wings, Kyle. I know you make better wings than that.
I mean, I was in the army for 17 years, man. I'll eat whatever I need to. Or sometimes not necessarily even need, just kind of like but that doesn't mean that I can't be choosy. Like we choose to work with great sponsors like Grow Generation, where the pros do go to grow. Be sure to check them out. Tell them LRMonline.com sent you. And yeah, man, where we are part of the Genreverse Podcast Network. And like I said, we talk about entertainment stuff. And dude, there is nothing more frightening right now for Hollywood than the returns the last few weeks. You and I have spent the last month or two talking about the weekend box office numbers and trying to look for new trends, and we thought we had something, and it didn't quite pan out as well as we had hoped. But I think now that Maverick, Top Gun Maverick, and Mission Impossible moved to 22. Ghostbusters pushed itself back a week from the 11th to the 19th or something like. Yeah, it's like a week, 9 days or something like that, give or take. And then I don't necessarily think it's so much a fear of shutdowns and stuff, although that is always a potential across different countries. Look at how New Zealand handles things versus the United States. But I think it really comes down to the fact of these numbers, man. That kind of tap out point at 170, 180 Black Widow, Fast 9 for U.S. films. I don't know, man. Do you think they're pushing off more because they want to see if people will come to the theaters more later, or do you think they're expecting like a shutdown? What are you kind of feeling out there?
No, I think it's definitely the overhead, the gross that they're going to be making. I think they see the really steady trend of how much movies are making, and I think through July now coming into September, we see kind of what the average of a film is going to make. And
yeah, 180, 170.
Yeah, for a movie like Top Gun, like Mission Impossible, for example, it's just not worth it for them. they don't feel that it is. Plus, if you think about it, unlike uh, Warner Brothers and Disney, they don't really have that too much backing them up, as in parks or big other big properties that they can just move money around. I think Paramount is a little bit more on their own, and so they have a lot riding on these movies that they need to make money. So that probably has to do a lot of it. It's just the money aspect of it. I don't foresee crowds getting any bigger either until next year. It's the same people really going to the movies every week, every weekend,
Mhm.
every other weekend.
I think you're
Um,
right. I
and by
do.
the same people, I don't mean physically the same people, unless you're talking about me, because yeah, that is me, the same people.
But you mean like
But
this the same group? Like
right,
the people that
mhm,
want to go to that are willing to go to theaters are already going.
right. So
And
yeah, and
those
that number
not
is
willing to go, they're probably not going to be willing to go until you're looking at like caseloads in America down in the hundreds across the country. There's people like that, and
mhm.
for various reasons. Um, I think you're right.
Yeah, and then so Shang-Chi starting tonight with preview night is gonna be very telling
Mhm.
to see what kind of that number is gonna be, just because it's not this is the first movie from Disney that's not going to be released in
Day and
on
date digital. Yeah.
digital. I mean, you can count Free Guy, I guess, but that's 20th Century. That's
Hmm.
also them. They did pretty well. So I mean, we'll see. Um, I was funny. I woke up. I was mentioning that to my girlfriend, and she's like, "Did they push back James Bond?" Because she knows how much I want to watch that one. No, I said, honestly, I expect it any day now.
Hmm.
At this point, if Paramount pulled all their stuff, MGM's probably going to do the same.
Hmm. I I I I agree. One of the things several people have been bringing up and talking about has been, um, depends on the Cam chiming in. Depends on the movie. Guarantee no Way Home makes bank. People will risk it. No one is risking a theater trip for Venom, and the studios know that. Hello, lads. Oh, good morning across over there where it's afternoon, evening for the Scottish guy that writes for us and helps manage the site, senior editor Cam Clark. Yeah, I mean that's a good point, and we'll kind of talk a little bit more about Spider-Man No Way Home later on, because there's some rumors about it specifically too. Um, I do agree that there's that in general that there's a risk some are willing to take, but I honestly expected that for Suicide Squad, and it underperformed what I thought by a lot, like a lot. Like even when I was adjusting fire for what we saw Fast 9 and Black Widow doing, it's still underperformed, Manny. Well, what do you think is No Way Home something people would do you think that'll draw out a bigger crowd?
Yeah, it should, especially in December. But if you want to play it safe, honestly, I'd push it back to March.
Mm, ouch. Don't say stuff like that,
And
Manny.
wait, when's the Batman come out?
I don't remember. Isn't that like June or something like that? The
No, I
Batman,
think it's earlier than that.
the
The
Batman. Let me.
Batman. No, that's actually March. So yeah, end of March, maybe even going into
Okay,
April.
interesting. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll
I'd
have
let
to see.
Batman do its thing, and then I'd do Spider Man. And if this is me making the decision, let me take a look. Yeah, if it was up to me, Spider Man would be coming out April 1st, 2022.
That's rough. No, but
Yeah, because I mean now we're talking spring
Cam says the
break.
same
We're
thing. You
talking
might
we're
might be
talking
right. No,
yeah. So I'd 100% push it back.
I
Because
look.
with this is technically the end and the beginning of this Sony Spider-Man cinematic
Hmm.
universe, whatever they
Beginning
calling it.
of the end. because we still
The
have the
beginning,
one team up movie.
and so you want, maximum exposure revenue. You want everyone to go see. I mean, the Spider-Man's a movie you got to see in theaters. That's not a that's not a that's not a TV movie per se. You need to, to get the grandeur of the web slinging and everything and whatever else you're gonna get. So you shouldn't. And then like it's gonna do the same numbers. So unless you're happy with the numbers that you've seen for films like Jungle Cruise,
So
F9.
if you push No Way Home, like you said, March, April, are you just pushing everything then to the next spot? So Strange goes to May instead of March, Thor to July, Panther to November, and then the Marvels to 23. You
Why
just
would you
move
push?
everything up a slot if you move No Way Home.
Why would you need to push Doctor Strange?
They're gonna push. There's no way they would release two
Oh, you're
movies
right.
together.
You're right, because Strange would be all right. Cool. Well, then I'd push Doctor Strange back to mid-April.
Push everything up,
Yeah,
basically.
everything back a little bit.
I mean, look, is it the right business choice? Probably to a degree, but you also have to. It's that dangerous balance act because you have to give us content. You can't just hold on to stuff.
No,
you know what
you don't have
I'm
to.
saying? Dude, what would people's reaction be if all of a sudden the entertainment well just dried up? And like, hope you like your Blu-ray collection until this shit's over. Like, that's not gonna go down real well.
I'm honestly, at this point, if this was my business, I don't care, because the people are gonna come back to watch it. The point is, the money I'm gonna lose now compared to the money I'm gonna make then, if I'm gonna wait a couple of months, is gonna offset that, and nobody's gonna complain when that movie comes out that, because they pushed it back, they're not gonna go see it. I mean, the people who are gonna go watch Black Widow went to go watch Black Widow despite that movie continuously being pushed back. And we did have a dry spell of entertainment. Theaters were closed for about a year.
Yeah, but they pushed a lot
Everything was fine. Nothing. Yeah, things. It is what it is, man.
The only reason I bring it up, and if it were just production costs, and some businesses can shut down a lot of production costs and cut some pennies or pinch some pennies here and there. But in general, you still have studios have a lot of people that work, 365 essentially, salary people, regardless of an active production, because there's always something in some various levels of production. You got HR, you've got ad and PR and all that. You got to be making money somewhere here somehow, and not every studio has a streaming service. Not every studio has a park or a foreign park to do real well. It's about balance, man.
Most
I
studios
don't
now
think
have
you
a
could
streaming
necessarily
service.
push it all.
Yeah, that's why you're still probably gonna get Ghostbusters, and you're gonna get Carnage, and you're gonna get Eternals, because these movies don't necessarily hold a lot of weight.
I don't they hold financial weight. You are right. Story wise, I'm guessing it's going to be pretty big deal for Sony's Spider-Man universe with Venom. Let there be carnage, but Eternals isn't a big story deal, but it's still a big money deal for them. It's iffy. Like I said, business sense, I get it, I do, but you kind of got to find a balance, and I also wonder how many because you could only pay off so many productions that were already complete and scheduled to come out for bonuses and whatnot to ease the pains, like the Warner Brothers did with most of their movies they're doing day and date. but now newer productions going on don't necessarily have that same what's the word I'm looking for, like leeway. Like I'm sure more contracts are written where it's like, no, it's gonna go to theaters for the regular window. It's a mess, man. It's a mess.
Yeah,
Money
exactly.
is
So
very
put it back to
important.
next year.
I don't I agree. They're picking and choosing films, and whether or not they'll do it with Spider-Man. Do you think Marvel wants to, Sony doesn't, vice versa? Neither wants to. What do you think is going on in each studio's mind?
I
Not
think
necessarily a
neither of
person's.
them want to do it.
Mhm.
You know, it's a matter of it's a matter
Well,
of
I meant
how.
want as far as business, what not.
Yeah, I neither of them want to do it. I'm sure everybody wishes they can just put their films out at the
Yeah.
appropriate time that they wanted to release them. But unfortunately, that's not possible right now.
It's going
That's not
down.
the climate that we're living in currently. It's it's just having to hang on for a couple more months, and hoping that 2022 gets a little bit better. People get a little bit smarter, and that way we can go back to the theaters being filled the way we want them to. I don't necessarily get the best picture per se as far as theater numbers, because in my area, um, people really take it as business as usual, and
Mhm.
theater rooms are full. I've seen. Heck, I was in a screening for Free Guy on Friday. This is his third
It's
week, and it
okay.
was full.
Mhm.
I was in a room for Snake Eyes second week, and it was about 3/4 of the way full. So people are watching. People are going out to watch the movies, especially here in the Central Valley in California. I just don't know what it's like in some of the bigger cities, if that's also the case, or what. But it overall, based on the numbers that you and I have been following every Monday, a film like Spider-Man, a film like Top Gun,
It
uh,
wouldn't make enough. It's not.
I'm gonna go ahead and push that back. Thank you.
Yeah, business wise, 100% agree. And we can kind of go into this idea that some have kind of tossed around, that Spider-Man could potentially be moved. Like I said, it was someone tweeted out that Grace Randolph had said something about her sources saying that she doesn't necessarily always get the best Marvel stories. But we got to take a quick word from our sponsors before we dig into the further implications of Spider-Man. Take it away, me.
Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. Grow Generation offers the best deals and discounts on the best grow products on the market. Grow Generation serves customers across the nation and carries a wide inventory of renowned cultivation brands. Go to www.growgeneration.com, where the pros go to grow.
Indeed, do check out Grow Generation. Thank you guys so much for sponsoring the show. We really do appreciate it. So I mentioned that rumor, and again, it's just a rumor at this point. The only reason why it's really interesting is because Manny's thinking very similar down my train of thought, whether I like it or not, that it may make sense. If they move it and they push everything up, how does that affect the Disney Plus release schedule? Do you kind of roll with what you got? Everything in 21 kind of feels like it's so standalone-ish, so story wise, from what I know about Eternals, and I can see how and why they could do it, but like I said, man, I worry about the consumers. What do you think?
No, I'm not worried about the consumers at all. Screw them. They're gonna
Sound like
consume the
Jammer
product
now.
regardless. No, seriously. If you go, if not necessarily you, because maybe I don't know how much
I
you
know
like
what you
fast food.
mean.
If you go to McDonald's and get a bad burger, you're gonna be mad that day, but you're gonna go back to McDonald's.
Oh
There's
yeah,
no
or a
way.
different one.
There's no yeah, but you're gonna go back to the product overall.
Mm-hmm.
And same thing with Star Wars. You and I have talked about the Gina Carano thing. If she doesn't leave Star Wars or whatever, the same people are still watching the product, even if they're quote unquote
Yes.
upset.
99.9%.
Nobody who's a fan of the merchandise, of the features is going anywhere. So in a business sense, yes, I know that we all want the product as soon as possible. I mean, hell, after watching the trailer, I wanted to watch the movie ASAP. But if it, like you said before, if it doesn't make the money, we can't make sequels. We can't continue to expand or grow and do other things. So in order to do that, the best way to support a film is through our wallets. And if it's not possible at the moment, then it's not possible at the moment. And let's just hold on for a couple more months, which could mean, I mean, it could even be the difference between another film, another spin-off maybe or something, versus just stopping it there.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, it's a thing you and I have brought up continuously. The whole idea of if these movies start to tap out, and it's kind of something Brian had mentioned in a conversation recently to me about if the movies just don't make as much money, finding out the root cause why. Is it this rush to streaming and this experimental phase through early this year through now with day and date, smaller theatrical windows, dumping things faster to premium digital? Have they shot themselves in the foot? Are people so willing now to wait that they'll wait for it to hit free, or subscription cost streaming service? And how do you then get people to stop waiting, other than going back cold turkey to, hey, it's going to be 6 months from the time it hits theaters to the time you can go down to your local brick and mortar store and pick up a physical copy?
It's just not the world we live in anymore. Streaming services is the way.
So if people are willing to wait, how do you get back to getting them in the theaters to make money or spend money on merchant? That's what I'm kind of getting at. Like, I don't really know if we as consumers realize how much the idea of instant gratification is damaging to entertainment. And seriously, dude, what's the answer? If people are willing to wait, if piracy increases, how do studios get their revenue back up to produce a $200 million budget movie? How do we do that?
It could be that we're just not going to be seeing that anymore. And what you're going to need to do, and you're not going to like my answer, is you're going to need to raise the prices of some of these streaming services. And that's going to solve it, unfortunately.
But not every studio has a streaming service.
I mean, technically now they really do. And if not, you sell it to Netflix. And Netflix is going to give you a pretty penny. MGM now has Amazon.
I keep wondering if Sony is going to try to buy Netflix. I don't think they could, but I keep wondering if they could, because they got that one deal, or maybe vice versa. Could you imagine if Netflix somehow managed to buy Sony? No, I don't think either businesses are good enough to buy anything, but I keep wondering what's going to happen with Sony, because they're one of the last like old fashioned studios, even though they themselves are not an old studio like an MGM or Warner Brothers, Fox before the purchase. But I mean, it's really now it's Disney and then Warner Brothers and Discovery stuff, so there's Sony making their last little, almost as an independent film studio now, considering how little support they have. I don't know, man. It's weird. I asked Brian, like, can you rip the Band-Aid off and after these current contracts for smaller release windows in theaters. Once those expire, do you just go back to the way it was in 2017, 2018 as far as release schedule? Or do
No,
you try to phase it back in, or
there's no going back.
there's no going back?
No, streaming services were slowly creeping up anyway.
Ooh. Yeah. Well, yeah, they were. I mean, automation across a lot of fields is creeping in, but we just sped it up.
Yeah, that's really what happened, and I mean that's happening with society as a whole, and with like Uber Eats and delivery stuff and curbside and whatever, all that stuff. It was coming. It was just sped up thanks to the situation around the world, and so now, it's just evolving, man. That's really what it is. And that's why theaters now have to do things like 40x, Dolby surround audio experience, RPX, IMAX, 180 screens and things like that, because if you don't offer a different experience, some people would rather stay at home. And so you see the market changing, you see it shifting, and it's just the way it is. You can tell because Warner Brothers had no problem at the beginning of the year just saying, we don't care what the situation is this year. Our movies are coming out in theaters and on HBO Max, and vice versa. If we can't do one, we'll do the other.
Yeah.
And they made sure everybody knew ahead of time. Nobody was surprised. And that's what they've been doing. Malignant's the next one on the list. And so anything that's coming out from them, they're not even worried about it anymore, because they're gonna get everything they want to do on time, and they're gonna move ahead from it.
Yeah, I mean,
they switched too, because now it's not just HBO Max; it's HBO Max with the non-ad plan.
Yeah, they got the non-ad.
So yeah, that's what you're gonna have. That's what they're gonna have to do. Disney Plus, don't be surprised if it raises their price soon.
I thought they had already announced one price hike, but I agree with you. You're going to see more price hikes. They're going to have to make the money somewhere. That's why I'm always telling people, consume, please do go out and buy stuff, spend money. No, spend money responsibly, but legitimately, I think, I don't remember who brought it up to who or whom or whatever the hell, but I had said, could we see a temporary budget shrink where, say, the next, what's in the pipe now, that's money already earmarked and or spent, but going forward for projects for the next 3 to 5 years after that, could we see it where there's nothing costing more than, 100 million? And then maybe in 3 to 5 years, if things have settled and people are spending, excess money on something, could we see a return to bigger budgets? Yeah, dude, it's a weird world to be in right now, isn't it?
Yeah, in every way. So, just got to hold on and just make it to it was never going to go back to quote unquote normal this year. Anybody who thought that was living in a fantasy land.
Yeah.
And so it's just a matter kind of just, just cleaning up and kind of, weathering the storm and just getting ready for next year, really.
Yeah, I can see that. There was a person that had said they thought that the what's the word I'm looking for? That the pandemic and movie thing would go on into 2022, and it looks like they might indeed be right. So
yep, and I'm not gonna get into that one.
No. So I had a theory. He's shifting gears to something related to gaming and the PlayStation 5 and Xbox series consoles, which are still hard to get. Sony's expected to ship what they had planned, what they had hoped, and I think Microsoft is on track to do as well, but it's still really, really hard to get these into the hands of regular people. We still see a lot of scalpers. Here's just simple. I just typed in Sony PS5 top results. Some of these I don't necessarily know, like Macari. I thought they sold like uh Etsy type stuff. So I don't know. But this 760,000 like I see that quite often going through. 7 to 8 seems to be pretty spot on. My theory is this, man. I think technologically the scalpers and the bot system is so well oiled that they have the ability to purchase these items and keep the gray market going forever. Like they will be the distributor. They basically are now able to buy things in enough that they are basically a secondhand distributor from Sony themselves and Microsoft and Nvidia and AMD for graphics units. Like, what do you think, man? I don't know how without these eBay and Walmart and Amazon specifically stepping in and limiting their own posts, what is allowed to be posted and sold on their platforms. I honestly see these bot armies sticking around for at least a few more years. What do you think?
I don't know. I don't know enough about them really to give an opinion on what I think about it. I do know that it should be one of those cases where some of these stores need to make it not even available online, in store only, and that really solves the problem.
No, you're right.
It's so simple. The solution is so simple. If that is in fact such a problem, then you're gonna need to make a window maybe of time where it's like in store only and you can only buy 2 of them if that's what it is, or whatever. Make it inconvenient enough where it requires a lot more work to get them.
Yeah, I agree. And will that suck for some legit non-scalper purchasers to make it more difficult? Yeah, but honestly, it's already difficult for those same people,
right?
So let's go ahead and make it hard on the scalpers, so they'll knock it off, and that way it won't be difficult for those that rely on internet sales. That, and like I said, I don't want to see necessarily Amazon outlaw third party PS5 or electronic sales. I don't like government price controls at all, but I feel there's something that the biggest internet retailers that allow third party sales, auction style and whatnot. I have to believe there's a way they can kind of filter it, kind of, refuse to host certain sales. You can do that, whether you want to make it an arbitrary price point, an arbitrary percentage point of market value. Like there's got to be something, right? Something, dude. I'm fine getting Horizon Forbidden West on the PS4 because that's what it was designed for. Sure, there's pluses on the 5, but there's Final Fantasy 7 and remake Intergrade that I wanted to get, and that's PS5 exclusive. I might be playing Final Fantasy 7 remake part 2 on my PS4 before I could play a PS5 exclusive game, dude. Legit.
Yeah, which is why I have actually a few friends who have said fuck it and have gone PC.
Well, I got one of those, so
I know, but what I'm saying is that they're leaving the console altogether and saying, because it's so difficult to get, we're gonna just build PCs and we're gonna upgrade as we go.
Yeah.
and that and that solves my issue of because everything everyone wants to play now has a crossplay capabilities. So
And
why am I gonna waste my time in trying to stress myself out to get a PS5 or the new Xbox when I can just build a PC? It's going to be multifunction, and it's going to make me feel good too, because I did something with my life as far as building a piece of machinery, and then being able to enjoy your game rather than wait for one of these other machines. I mean, it at the end of the day, it does hurt. It does end up hurting Sony and Xbox, because you're gonna get the games for PC now. You're not gonna buy the games, and it's only then, I think, when they're gonna realize that, oh shoot, we kind of messed up.
I agree.
Because it's not about it's not about the console is not, well, yeah, you make money off the consoles, but it's the games.
Oh yeah, the games.
so,
And
so
that was something I brought up. Speaking of Xbox, I'm showing their prices. I doubt it's in stock, but there you go. Pricing looks to be about the same for the Series X as it is a PS5. Xbox, again, kind of I wondered about shooting themselves in the foot with the Game Pass, which is a brilliant marketing thing and a brilliant way to do stuff with the amount of in-house support that they have. But like I have pointed out, that gaming is really something I don't think subscription based markets are the best, simply because of developers don't want pennies on it. Like, if you had an initial physical or digital, purchase only window, similar to like a theater release window, sure, but I can see this coming back to bite them in the ass. However, I will give Microsoft props on one thing I had an issue with, which was kind of making it seem like cloud gaming could do what all Game Pass is cloud gaming, and that your hardware's doesn't matter. You'll get these awesome AAA titles and 60 FPS, 1080p, and that's not the truth. And they rolled it out a lot better than I thought they would. They didn't even allow cloud gaming at first, so people understood better. And kind of now it's like, if you don't know what you're getting into, that's on you. So, dude, you're right on that. I mean, who's gonna win that fight? The people doing the game studios creating games saying, hey, we're just gonna go with releasing it cross platform, or could the consoles end up somehow? I don't know, man. I think you're right. I think exclusivity might just be done now.
yeah, it's
I'm not against that at all.
no, but like I said, this is going to be good. It doesn't affect the studios making the games. This is going to affect the bottom line of the people actually making the physical games, because you're gonna get your money from PC sales, or from wherever PC. I don't even know where PC people buy their games, to be honest with you. That's
The internet.
That's a whole other. Everybody just downloads the game, huh?
Pretty much.
Pretty much. Okay.
Most computers today don't even come with disk drives for a CD-ROM or DVD-ROM drive. So yeah, I had to seek out, because I have a lot of old games and I can dual boot, and so I needed I wanted an internal drive instead of having an extra USB peripheral. But anyways,
yeah. So is just that's a whole other mess for a whole other reason. But man, gone are those days when you go pick up a nice little stocky box and take out your cartridge and you slam it into your Super Nintendo.
Midnight releases at Walmart.
Oh yeah, midnight releases at Well, no, I never did Walmart. I was in GameStop.
Well, so crazy. Funny thing. people really kind of got into that whole crowded midnight release thing for big games at GameStop. I think a lot of people forgot that Walmart super centers are now, I think they're just Walmart, and then the small ones are something else. And then there's a neighborhood market, which I really like, the one around the corner from my house. But
I avoid Walmart at all costs.
I loved the fact that there was never any crowds. I could just walk in, go to electronics, pick up like Kingdom Hearts 3. When it was released, I looked across the shopping areas, parking lot, line, crowd, lights, stuff, all Kingdom Hearts at the GameStop. Walk right into the Walmart, right back to electronics. There was 3 of us hanging out, and 2 of us got PlayStation copies, and someone got a Xbox copy. Took a whole like 10 minutes. I was gone, man.
It's not about the game, man. It's about the camaraderie. It's a social event, the giveaways and hanging out.
No,
and talking about the
not
game.
when it comes to that, to games like that. I guess because for me, growing up, gaming was a solo thing first and a social thing second. And today I think it's vice versa. So I think you are right. I think that's why people were willing to sit there, even though they could walk in and get the game. I just wanted to play the fucking game. I don't want to talk to you guys about it. I'll talk to you guys about it later.
Yeah, no, we made it. It was a group thing where everybody had their reservations, and it's going to hang out, maybe going to eat beforehand, and then going over to stand in line. Everybody pick up, and it was cool because everybody pick up their statues also, and we all walk out with big ass boxes, like feeling hella cool or whatever. Giveaways, raffles, and it's just, yeah, no, we made it a social event. Thankfully I had enough nerdy friends where that was the case.
That's cool. Yeah. I can, I kind of miss the days of special editions that were not ridiculously priced. You remember when you could get a special edition for like $75, $85? It wasn't always a $99 ordeal to get something. And
I would pay up to, because GameStop offered that whole thing where you can pay it in installments, whatever, beforehand. I'd always go for the statue. So even if it's like $125 or whatever, it was worth it, because I saw the value in the statue itself. Yeah. Plus, a lot of times you get like really cool art books.
Yeah, I like that
and all that great stuff. So at the end of the day, it felt worth it, right? And now it's like special edition is out now. We're sold out. It's like, wait, you can't. You just said it. It's like,
or all of the extra stuff is all digital stuff, and there's no point in getting the physical copy at all. That kind of happened with Final Fantasy VII Remake. I really wanted because that's my game, and I wanted the physical stuff, but when I looked at it, I wasn't going to get the fancy cloud motorcycle or figures or any of that. I wanted like a nice steel book, maybe an art book or something. They gave us a soundtrack and some art digitally, so I just bought it on digital. But I love I still have all of my like collector edition boxes, my steel boxes, dude. I love those things. They're so cool.
Yeah, I still have my art book for Arkham City. Injustice. I have the comic book that came with my Injustice set. The statues, all the Batman ones. I mean, yeah, just it made it so much more interactive because you had physical things to go with your games.
Yeah. And stuff to show off when your friends came over later, because that's how it was for us. Because especially by the time you're in high school and right after high school, you're pre-ordering games. It's 2000 for us, 2, 3, 4, and everyone gets their orders at different times because they get out of school or out of work, and then they go play the game, and then we'd all talk about it the next, time at school or work or whatever. It's been different, and it's not necessarily always better. It's not always necessarily worse. There's positives and negatives. I love being able to pre-download, pre-install games now. That's a big plus. I hate day one patches. Like, God, guys, if you already knew the bugs were there to be working on the patch, like no one could have put in an extra, shift or two across a couple of weeks to get it. Like, I appreciate a lot of the modern stuff, but it is kind of iffy and has some negatives. But I do, man. I think the bot technology is to the point now that we could legit be looking at another couple of years, regardless of the silicon being printed, regardless of chips being manufactured. I think the scalpers have us on the ropes right now, man. And it's literally going to be them holding the gray market until basically everyone that can afford scalper prices pays them. I just wonder what they're going to do with the rest of their stock. Like, there's no way GameStop is going to buy that many PS5 and Xboxes. I don't know. We'll see, man. You got anything else you want to bring up before I start doing the housekeeping?
Nope.
Cool, guys. Thank you so much for checking us out today, whether it was on the Genreverse Podcast Network, wherever you get your podcasts from, or the YouTube channel, the LRM YouTube channel. Thank you so much. Please do subscribe, follow all of that wonderful fun stuff. Share us with some friends and family. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Give us some wonderful comments. The website, LRMonline.com, every day for all of your entertainment news, needs, and opinions. Wonderful stories going up all the time. Look at this. Stories, more stories, even more stories. If you want to read them, go check out. My wife wrote this one. Anyways, yeah, check that stuff out, guys. Follow us on the social media information that you see below. We have our YouTube channel, and we got a lot of really great interviews, which Manny helps head that up along with Nancy and Gig. We got a lot of really cool Spanish exclusive or Spanish language interviews, I should say, because they're still exclusives because they're
exclusive
us.
if you know the language.
go ahead, Manny. Talk up the wonderful interviews at LRM's YouTube channel.
Yes, we have wonderful interviews. Go watch them. No, for real though. I mean, we're just been so busy with all types of interviews. Right now, I am uploading an interview with Harvey Guillen for what we do in the shadows. That'll be up in about 10-15 minutes, or
I'm
up
excited.
completely once this is uploaded. Nancy's been working on The Colony. I've worked on Shang-Chi. Gig's been working Zero Gravity, Lego Masters, Zone 414, which is written by a friend of mine, Brian Edward Hill. I mean, just quite the array of interviews. And we have so many more also that we haven't released just because of the fact that it's just either embargoed or too many other things going on. So make sure to check them out. Some of them, a lot of them, I'll be honest with you guys, is interviews that we want to take, that we want to talk to these people because we're either fans of their work or of the idea, the property that they're putting together. So it makes for really good conversations. So that's what we got. And don't miss out. Also, make sure to watch tonight is the season premiere of What We Do in the Shadows season 3.
Yep. And Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Also Shang-Chi preview night
episode
tonight too. So
I hate how they're just dumping Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Just cut the episodes, double them up, just shoot it out there. So sad. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening today. We will we'll talk to you tomorrow.